So, Gamersupps made a trading card game. Hey everybody, this is Kohdok here, and wow, I do not think I have seen a more disappointing and disgraceful sight than the VCard trading card game by Gamersupps. So, yes, that Gamersupps. If we look here, we can see that indeed the website for the VCard card game is directly connected to Gamersupps. Gamersupps, the energy drink company. They do like powdered energy drinks, including such flavors as Blowhole Blast. Oh man. It's a lot of weird stuff. I don't really like these kinds of powders because they use artificial sweeteners, and everybody says, oh, artificial sweeteners haven't hurt anybody. Artificial sweeteners give me like the worst gas imaginable, and that hurts everybody. So let me go with my real sugar drinks, thank you, which have thankfully been having a bit of a renaissance. But yeah, the company that is most famous for putting boobs on energy drinks is now putting boobs on trading cards, and that's basically what VCard is. It is another in the series of VTuber themed card games we've been getting, and it has been getting dunked on a whole awful lot, and I would say for good reason. So I've looked at a couple of VTuber card games. There's the HoloLive card game, which I haven't really taken a serious look at. I don't know if it's got an English release, but it's a Pokemon-like, where you have like energy cards that you play. It actually kind of uses the Pocket TCG sort of formula where you draw an energy card and attach it from a special deck every turn. There's also Oshi Push, which is another VTuber card game by Japanime. I was given a few sample cards for it over in at PAX Unplugged last year, and last year being just a couple of months ago. But this is one that makes use of sort of the more popular, like, sexy VTubers that aren't like necessarily tied aggressively to an idol studio the way the talents for HoloLive might be. We have people like Shy Lily and Nyanners and all sorts of various characters like that promoting this game. In fact, I suppose that's that's like one nice thing about this website, is it does at the very least provide a link to all of the creators featured on the card. So there's a positive there. It does have all of the basic details for these characters, although I wonder how many of these folks have moved over to Blue Sky since then. I would maybe like those links as well. But yeah, VCard is it's their attempt at making a VTuber trading card game, and like I said, everybody's been dunking on it for very good reason. And let me tell you, I took a look at the stuff in this game, and never before have I beheld a trading card game aiming for official release that has absolutely zero depth. None. Nada. Whatsoever. There is no strategy in this game. There are no interesting twists and turns in this game. There are no archetypes in this game. There are no difficult decisions in this game. It is literally the least game I've ever seen a trading card game be. So how about we take a quick look at some of those rules. So the goal of VCard is to be the first player to score 5 points by winning rounds in a 1v1 card battle. Optional if you prefer higher stakes. Winning a round can also add your opponent's played cards to a prize pool. The winner of the game claims the entire prize pool. Oh, joy! You know what that is? That's gambling! I can't stop winning! Aw, dang it! But this is literally what got Magic the Gathering in trouble with like a bunch of legal authorities, was their ante system where you put up a card as a prize for the game. Apparently this is not how the text originally looked. Apparently the prize card system where you genuinely claim your opponent's property as your own by winning the game, apparently that was not given the optional tag before. It's I don't know who came up with this game, but they didn't consult anybody who knows how to make it. So card types: power level 8 cards, power level 9 cards, and power level 10 cards. So These cards feature a power level of 8 and come with unique abilities that offer small strategic advantages. Power level 9. Standardized at power level 9, these cards provide high power without additional abilities, making them solid and straightforward choices. And then power level 10. So the idea is that power level 8s are weaker, but they should have an ability to make up for that. Power 9s are vanillas, and power 10s are... Power 10s are what? They're just better? My goodness. So let's have a look at some of these. They have a nice list here. So we have power level 8. We have Neanners here. I guess I'm going to have to take a look at the beginning. So what happens is you put down your card with... and, you know, whoever has the lower power level goes first because obviously they're losing and they get the chance to play a support card or... let me see, what is it? Players can play one mascot and one support card a turn. Okay, so they can play one mascot and one support. The problem that I have seen with this is that all of the cards, let's see, the card list should be around here somewhere, card gallery. So we have the mask. So let's start with the power level 8s, okay? Or actually, let's start with the power level 9s listed as the rares here. Wow, that's some racy artwork. Let's go safe with Neanners here. It's no secret. I have indulged in the occasional Neanners activity. I mean, I've used this clip in at least one of my videos.
I ordered it.
So, let's get a better look at Neanners. Let's see if I can fix that. Oh, that didn't do anything. That's interesting. I was hoping that would shrink the card on there, but yeah, okay, so we have level 9 Neanners. It has her age, height, and weight, because those are very classy things to include in a game like this. And her card ability is Neanners once underwent grueling special ops military training in a remote desert facility to become a sniper. That's not an ability, that's flavor text. Flavor text should probably be italicized. Also, I gotta say, the font choice here is kind of lousy. I can barely make this out against the detail in the artwork. You want the if you're using a font for detail, you want it to be something readable. You want it to be crisp and, you know, easily legible. This font that they went with is kind of blobby. It actually looks like they stretched it out, like put the text in there and then did a horizontal stretch on it, which is very bad because font is made the way it's supposed to be. You know, font is designed to be readable the way it is. If you try like stretching it horizontally, then that actually like it sort of blobifies the letters and makes it harder to read. But this is a power 9, so this is supposed to be like our baseline power card. So let's take a look at level 8s. So Neanners' ability is Gentle Parity. If you play the same element as your opponent, gain +1 power. Hopefully some of you see the problem here. So a 9, let's go back to the 9. The power 9s are they're just base power 9. Base power 8s are supposed to make up for that deficit with an ability, but do you see what this ability is? It's an ability that might turn this card from an 8 to a 9. Okay. So the level 8 cards, their selling point is that they're a lower starting power, but they can make up for that with a card ability. And for most of these cards, that ability is, yeah, if you lost last round, you gain +1 power this round. That ability is to maybe become a 9. Okay, so some people have compared this to the Ultraman game because it's also about the one-on-one battles where you can play a power-up to get better. The thing is, there's a couple of things going on in the Ultraman game. One, if you lose a round, you can actually come back and edit that round later by playing a power-up card on top of the cards you already played, generating a card that is stronger than if you had just played it straight up. So that's sort of the huge advantage that Ultraman has in its favor, in that it incentivizes playing cards that set you up. Like, there's like really, really weak Ultraman cards that let you do like card draw and, you know, set up things in advance to get more resources for the next rounds. And then you can come back to those cards and play a level up on them to make them a whole lot stronger. So there is a reason to play the weaker cards in Ultraman, and that is because they can be used for setup and they can be brought back later. That does not exist here. And these cards do not become better than a level 9 if you meet their specifications. They become the same power as the vanillas. And that's not how these things really ought to work. If they wanted to make this interesting, these should be a +2 power. And why are the power levels 8, 9, and 10? How is that functionally any different from power levels 1, 2, and 3, huh? Since the difference is literally the same number, if you had cards that increase or decrease that, 1, 2, and 3 have the same distance between them than 8, 9, and 10. I'm not sure what is going on here. Let's take a look at some other ones. If you lose this round, your next power level card gets +1 power. It requires you to throw around, but then if you put out a level 10 card, which I haven't looked at yet, then that 10 becomes an 11. So we have the ultra rares here, and here we have our level 10 Yanners, who doesn't have any downside for just being a level 10. So the level 10 cards are just better. A level 8's not going to catch up to this. A level 9 starts against these at a disadvantage. Why would I play anything but a level 10? Oh, the person who plays the power card gets to make the first action? Well, they would anyway, because why would the person who is currently winning want to play any cards when that could affect how well they are winning? So, also, going second has an advantage because you get to see the action your opponent takes first and get to react accordingly. Going second in trading card games is often very powerful. So level 8 cards are just bad. I hate to say it, but I mean, like this one, if you throw a game, can turn a 10 into 11, but that doesn't really, that's not really worth throwing away a match for. Cautious step if you play the same element, so that's that. Yeah, it's just a list of matching abilities. Discard 1 mascot card from your hand to draw a card. So that's a little bit of setup, but it's not really going to do enough to help you out here. Oh, the mascots. Let's talk about the mascots, shall we? So let's take a look at this. We have Goro, who is the Nyanners card. +1 to your power level card, +2 to your water type power level card, +3 to your Nanners VTuber power level card. First of all, do these stack? If I play this on a water Nyanners, do I get +6 or do I get +3? That might be that might be something important to clarify. +1 to your power cards. If your power card is water type, +2 instead. If your power card is Nyanners, +3 instead. But you want to know the fun part about these mascots? They are all exactly the same. They all provide the exact same bonuses regardless of which character you have it on. There's absolutely no depth to these mascots. They are all a base +1 power bump, or a +2 power if you match the element, or a +3 power if you match the VTuber. There's none that have different effects. There are none that let you draw extra cards or shuffle cards around or anything like that. Literally every single one of these is the exact same effect. And this is what I mean when I say this game has absolutely zero depth. There is no reason to play any VTuber over any other VTuber. There's no reason to combine multiple VTubers together into a single group. Are there characters that have been shown to have good chemistry, like, you know, like what is it, Bao and Fallon, whatever her name is? If they had like some kind of combination together, but no, it's all generic, useless abilities. Like I said, most of them give a +1, which will bring them up to baseline, which is not enough for a card like this. And then we have the supports. So we have identical ones here that recycle a card. I don't know why you'd recycle a losing card. And these are ones that block certain things. And then we have a card that specifically targets another card. I remember I gave Lorcana grief for making a Moana card that did this. And then they have Harpoon, -3 power level to any Shy Lily cards. If you are going to make a game without a sideboard, don't make sideboard cards. That's exactly what this is. And you know what the real kicker is on this one? There is another card that does the exact same thing, but it works against any... It works against any of the power level cards. So the Harpoon card is literally useless. There's literally no point in running this card because there's a card that does the same thing but to everybody. If this was a card that had a benefit only if you were the one using Shy Lily, then we might be talking here, but most of these are pretty generic and bad. This one is perhaps a bit too good because it forces an opponent to discard 2, although you draw up to a minimum of 5 during your turn. There's this one. Discarding number of cards from your hand, gain +1 power level for each card discarded. But remember, you draw back up to a minimum of 5 cards, so this one is probably a bit too good. Yeah, but there's nothing here that involves actually choosing a character. So like I said, and then there's God Rares, and they're not going to tell us what they are, but this is where they really tip their hat. Actually, let's talk about them in a second. First, let's look at the products. So we have the booster boxes, we have binders, we have boxes. You notice something missing here? Where are the starter decks? Where are the things that players need to start playing this game that they've made? Isn't that a bit of a problem to not have those basic ingredients there? Instead, we have we have this freaking thing. It's the Shy Lily binder. Yeah, in case you couldn't tell, how many God Rares are there? There are 42. See, because it's 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus 2, 42. It's 42 God Rares. This is not a card game, okay? What this is this is a game aimed at, this is a game aimed purely at collectors. This is not a card game. It is a Gooner collectible card set that is trying to wear the prestige of being a card game. This is something made for whales, no pun intended, Shy Lily, who want to buy a bunch of cards with boobies on it, and that will certainly affect their ability to pull these cards out in public. I have made my statement about your card art before. I'm not like a prude, but don't forget, you are asking people to pull out their cards in public around people they do not know, because that's literally what a tournament is. And, anybody who shows up to an event with this Shy Lily binder is going to get judged accordingly for doing so, and I would say probably accurately. And need I remind you, this is Gamersupps. Look at all the wasted opportunities here. Where's the VCard bottles for mixing in? Where's the new pack smell flavor of gaming powder, whatever the heck it's used for? Where's the offer to throw a free booster pack into every single bottle? In fact, where's the option to buy booster packs individually at all? This whole thing is so incredibly half-assed at every level. So, if you want these cards, have fun. Just don't believe any delusions. Don't have any delusions that you're buying into a card game. You are just buying booby collectible cards. That's really all it is. And like I said, it's going to be fun seeing how many people try to show up with these Shy Lily binders at any kind of game. It's not a game. It's not going to go anywhere as a game. The game has absolutely zero depth to it. They've already had to point out that the cards have a bunch of errors on them. They've already had to point out that they've already had to change the rules. Apparently this game objective section was changed to include that little optional tag. This is a mess. I can't believe this made it to publishing. Like, this is worse than like the random little cards that you could get out of like those, like you put in the quarters, you pull it in and you pull it out. Like for a while people were just throwing cards in there that just had like power level listed on them, even though there wasn't really like a game associated with it. And this is as bad as all of those. Wow, a trading card game with absolutely zero depth. Good luck with this. You're gonna need it.